declare. So, this title of this video is How Vision Boards Changed My Life. And they certainly have in a really big way. So, how did vision boards change my life? It's just been remarkable. And my journey started about 4 years ago. So, my background is in early years. For those of you who don't know what that means, I was a childcare director of a not for profit multi site organization. We had 4 locations. I led a team of about 75 educators, cooks, supervisors, and I had done that for just over 30 years, 30 at the current employer. And what I discovered was that I love doing workshops. I had an opportunity to do that in my position as early years. And so, because of that, I decided that I wanted to go get a photo shoot because I was doing workshops in my position as a childcare director to promote this new way of being with children, which now is very commonplace, but it was like this new concept, this new pedagogy around play based learning. And so, I went and had a photo shoot done. And her name is Heike Delmore. I always give her a shout out. She's phenomenal. She's in Windsor, Ontario. And at that photo shoot, something magical happened where I took a look at my own image and I realized the possibility. I saw the magic. I saw beyond what the image was showing, even though it was me, was that wow, that was a peek into the future. So here's one of the images, like extraordinary, right? Like she just does amazing work. Um, and so this is the image that I wanted, something like that, but I got like 20 of them. And so when I realized that I had this peek into the future, even though I didn't know what that was, I hadn't done a vision board yet, I didn't know what visioning was, I was actually practicing it. And I had this nudge, this intuition that it was meant for something bigger. And so I went to a web design company. And before I even had the idea fully laid out, I just brought in my photos and I said, I'm meant to do something big. I just don't know what it is yet. So I wonder if that relates to you. If there's something, I've been talking to many people that say, I have that same feeling. So here's what I did was I started to get into action. So the law of attraction has actually the word action embedded in it. And how did I do that? I started to talk to people about what was possible. Um, and I looked, online, and what came across my news feeds was vision boards. And I realized, yes, I'm a visionary. And since then, I've actually really been affirmed in that because I've done the Enneagram. If you haven't ever done that, it's an amazing personality defining tool. I work with a great coach who supported me with that. And I'm a 7, an enthusiast and a visionary. Go figure. So it's just part of my makeup. So I was meant to do this. So what I did was I created a studio. So I actually have an in person studio. And also, I started working on building a course, building curriculum, building a framework. So I pulled from the best Jack Canfield, and a variety of sources. I found some really amazing videos on YouTube. And so I pulled from that because there isn't anyone that is teaching vision boards. And so I also use my early years background about what I know and what we've been learning around brain research with children. I infuse my Christian faith because that's just natural for me. And so I created this beautiful workshop called the 7 Life Areas. And then I opened my doors in 2018, and I was still working as a childcare director and as a doing workshops on the weekends in my studio. And then I started getting requests to do them outside of the studio and on location, which I, thankfully obliged and started to spread my wings, so to speak. And it was just so exciting to be doing both and to have this facilitation with vision boards and visioning as well, working in the early years, which I absolutely loved. So I had created my first vision board. Actually, I don't have it with me this morning. It's actually at my studio. On that vision board, I had this vision for this beautiful business, this visioning business, this vision board business, but I didn't know what it was going to look like, but I knew how it would feel. And so Then I met a woman, Jessica Burrell, and she's from Windsor, and she was doing a tribe event here in town. And so I was one of the guest speakers. That was the first time I had shared my vulnerable story. And so again, I want to keep this video not too long, so I'm not going to go into all these different areas, but that was really instrumental in me being, having this opportunity to share my story, be vulnerable, not just offer like a workshop, but actually be like a public speaker and have that opportunity because it was a packed house. And then she offered for me to be part of a conference. So this was October 2019. And that women's conference, I met another woman named Tina Brigley, and she was the MC. And she's actually a founder now with High Performing Coach, but I'm kind of getting ahead myself. So at this conference, there was another woman that was speaking, and she said this, she posed this question: what's the price you're paying for not following your dream? And I was like, whew, that hit me big time because I was, loving still being a childcare director. I love being in the early years. I love making an impact for those that work with children, who care for children. I love working with families. But I knew, again, I had this nudge to really focus on the personal development aspect through the vision boards. And so looking at my vision board daily is how I teach it. And then the next question she asked is, what's the price those around you are paying for you not following your dream? And I thought, it's really high. Um, I want to have freedom of time, freedom of money, and to step fully into my purpose. And so I decided then that I was going to give my notice to my board of directors. And so I gave them the notice in January 2020. We all know what happened in March 2020. COVID hit. And so I was like, oh no, I've literally just quit my job because even though it's retirement, it's not for profit, there isn't a pension. I had some savings, but I really had no plan B. It was just all in. And just like I had done 3 years prior with starting my company, I had done the same thing with leaving my full time career and stepping full time into my company. I was just following my intuition, also praying to God, looking for his guidance like, is this what I'm supposed to do? And so I offered my first online workshop in March, and that I had 65 people register. It was a free workshop. And it was based on my power words, which, if again, I do that regularly, that workshop. And from that, created paying clients. And I was like, ah, this feels like this is my answer. I am on the right track. And so then in June, so prior to that, I had taken some coaching with Jenna Lear from Blue Louie Studio. She's phenomenal. She's from Ohio. So she gave me a great foundational base. I still have connection with her. I love Jenna. And then from there, I had been following Tina Brigley, and I was like, what's high performing coach? What's this all about? So in June of 2020, I went to one of their full day workshops, and I was like so aligned with their message. I didn't see myself yet as a coach. I was really leaning in and staying in that safety zone of being a workshop facilitator and a little bit of a public speaker, but not a coach. And so I joined their mastery, which is the second level, kind of this the bigger commitment, which financially investment, big commitment, but also time commitment. And I was all in. And so, have vision boards changed my life? Absolutely. Because if you would have told me 3.5 years ago, when I just had this, photo shoot, that I'd be sitting here on a Tuesday morning with the freedom of time, freedom of money. I'm going to go spend time with my grandson in a little bit. I get to coach this afternoon with a client from the UK. I get to work with global clients from all over the globe and say, I don't know, that sounds pretty dreamy, pretty magical. And that's my life. So I'm going to offer another vision board, or sorry, not vision board, Facebook Live on Thursday to continue my story. So thank you so much for watching. I see there's a few of you on. I'm sorry, I can't see who you are, but thank you so much for watching. And for catching the replay, I'd love to hear what you got from this story and what's coming up for you. Let me know. So what I also want to do is I'm going to drop at the bottom a link to the Academy. So I'm going to talk about that more on Thursday. But what's been extraordinary is that this vision has grown, which is how it usually happens, is like it's bigger and better than what you imagined because it's from God. It's divine. The revelation is divine. And so I can only think as large as my human mind will allow me to think. And that's what I put on my vision board. But what actually has manifested has been beyond my wildest dreams. And so now I have a legacy where I have 12 graduates so far from the Academy, Dare to Declare Academy, who are now also offering vision boards within their coaching practice, within their business. Half are entrepreneurs, half are coaches. It's just been amazing, this new community. So I'm going to drop the link for the application for that. There's no obligation to apply. There's no payment required. It's merely, it'll trigger a call with me to get more information and just to see what it's all about. So that's going to be starting in November. And so if you want more information, just check out that link. So thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing day and dream big. Cheers.